Today I've decided to use the first of my Maggi 2-minute noodles. All you have to do is put it in 400 ml of boiling water for 2 minutes and stir in the sachet of flavour. This is not a meal, but it is the basis of a meal, and I love noodles. Love, 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 like Chinese and all that sort of thing. As you can see by the picture, you really need to add extra things. You know, I guess it's a lunch snack if you're on the run. So I am doing extras for mine. I have chopped some stir-fry veg, which I'm going to fry up with a little bit of soy sauce. And at the end I shall throw in some kale. And I will prep this, and then I will stick it all into the frying pan for the last minute, just to get all the flavours mixed up, and that will be a decent lunch. I don't know how big that gets. I might end up having enough for dinner as well. But yeah, these are, I think they're 65p, and they've been doing buy one get one free on some of the cashback apps. So I have 4 of these, 2 of them I've paid for, and bear in mind that is the basis of a meal. 65p for a meal with a few extra veggies isn't so bad. So that's lunch. Temperatures are way up. It's just so much better now. It's like, I think it's 11 degrees today, and it's just so nice. I'm in normal socks. I've just got 2 jumpers on, which just feels so nice. Last night I still had the heating set to 15, and I was baking, so I had to turn it down a bit, and it kept switching itself off because it was getting too warm. So that was good. Yeah, it's just been so much warmer. I think we're going to get a few more days of this, and then it looks like it might drop again a bit, but you know, with any luck we won't be going back down to -6. So yeah, it's like 13, I think 13 in the flat today, which is just really comfortable, and I feel really productive. I've been out this morning and done some errands. I've done the housework. It's not even lunchtime, so just that change of temperature just gives me so much energy. So I've been catching up on things I haven't really done during the week because it's just been too cold, and I've just been kind of getting by. I'm going to finish my my dress commission, or my clothing commission, today. I'm planning the last of the videos I want to do for this year, because once I get down to my parents, there won't be any time to really record very much. I'll do the odd thing, but I'm not going to have the space or anything. They won't understand what I'm doing. They won't like it. Nobody I know in real life knows I have YouTube channels, because I'm just not comfortable with it. They don't need to know. And if my parents found out I was talking about my life on the internet, they'd probably... well, let's just say that my parents don't trust anything. And the internet is an evil place, which most of it is, to be honest with you. So I prefer to keep it separate. So when I do vlogs, when I'm down there, it'll be when I'm out walking, and I'll put the camera on the stick and do that. I won't do them from home unless everyone's out, because it's just not worth having a conversation about. So I've got a few more things that I want to do. I have mentioned 1 or 2. I want to do my Christmas purchase, and I want to also talk about upcycle and recycle of Christmas wrap, because I do that a lot, and also hand making your own gift tags, which I did last year. And I pulled out all my Christmas, I got a big bin bag full of all the Christmas wrap, and I upcycle and recycle throughout the year, so when people have birthdays and stuff, I mean, I'll keep the wrap that I get, but also other people's, like if I'm down for a family birthday, and like everything just goes in the bin. So they tend to use a lot of tissue rather than actual paper, and you can just like get it out, iron it out and reuse it. And I have tons of the stuff now. I have enough wrap to last a lifetime. I haven't bought Christmas wrap in years, or Christmas bags. I mean, my mum spends a fortune on Christmas bags, and we put them all away at the end of the year, and then towards the end of the year we'll divvy them up and decide who's going to use what in each year. But I never get through them all because there are dozens. I've got dozens and dozens, and I don't need them. It's like one bag per person, and all the little gifts will go in tissue inside. I don't need dozens and dozens of bags. It's just ridiculous. Just overloaded. I have far too much now. I've got this huge black bag of Christmas and birthday wrap, and it just sits in the corner of my studio glaring at me all year, and I hate it. There's nowhere I can put it that's out the way, and it's just clutter. But anyway, so I'm going to do a whole thing on that with my my Christmas hauls, so to speak. I've been really good this year. I'm always really careful. So I'm going to do a whole thing on that, about how I stick to the budget and la-di-da-di-da. And I think that's it for now. It's really dark today. The reason it's so warm is it's very cloudy. It is tipping it down outside. But I'd rather be warm and cloudy than clear sky and freezing my butt off. So that'll do for there. That's enough of that. I'll show you lunch when it's done. I am in bed and it's late, and as has happened for the last few nights, I can't sleep. My brain's whirring. And tonight I was thinking again about what I can do next year, what can be different, what can I do better, what can I do differently. And I was thinking about, what can I put back into the world? How can I be an actual useful person? And I don't mean getting a job with some big corporate money monster, something that makes profit out of people's misery, like a supermarket that jacks up the prices and keeps people poor. And it made me think about what I've done this year that is more in line with that way of thinking. And I first thought about the medical evaluation work that I've started to do. I mean, yes, I am getting paid to do it. And yes, the research is being conducted by big pharmaceutical companies that profit off the illness of other people. But if me volunteering to test unlicensed drugs helps other people, assuming it does, then that has to be something useful, surely, doesn't it? I mean, I've never done anything like that before. And then I think about some of the cleaning work that I now do. I don't count the businesses, but the couple, for instance, that I do the cleaning for who, couldn't possibly push a hoover around every week because they're just not well enough. And it helps them have an semblance of order in their life. And again, yes, I'm getting paid to do it. It's not completely out the goodness of my own heart, but at least it's doing something more useful. And then I started to think about the things that I have done in the past that could be considered useful. So my first job in London, sort of job, was volunteering. And I volunteered in 2 homeless centres. I volunteered at a night shelter for 16 to 25-year-olds that was in Vauxhall, and I volunteered for a day centre which was in Marylebone, and they were proper volunteer jobs. That was my first experience of doing anything in London, and it was my first experience of real life because I wouldn't say I come from a sheltered background. We were comfortable, we were looked after, but I wouldn't have said it was particularly easy. By the time I left school, I felt pretty damaged in many ways, and I kind of gravitated towards other damaged people. So volunteering for homeless shelters was ideal. I was surrounded by people who'd fallen on hard times or been badly treated. And, there were particular instances where I was really thrown in at the deep end in many ways. I mean, it was the early 90s, so I was probably, I don't know, I think I must have been 18 or 19. No real experience of the world. And I remember being at the night shelter one night, and there was a lad there. I can remember what he looked like, but I can't remember anything else about him. And I think he was like a regular there. He was known there. He wasn't like a one-off, but he'd slashed his wrists with broken glass. and I had to take him to hospital. And I have very vague snatches of recollection about what happened, but I can vaguely remember, sitting in the cubicle in A&E and him waiting to be stitched up. And he kind of latched onto me, so when I would finish my shift and at 7 o'clock we'd roll out after everyone had had breakfast and been turfed out on the street for the day, he would wait outside the door for me and then follow me back to the tube station. I dread to think where these people are now. And I was really bad with medical stuff back then. How I managed to not keel over at the sight of someone with their wrists slashed, because I can remember seeing it. And then the day centre, we saw they were over 25, so there were a lot of hardened people there who'd been on the streets for years, practically end-of-life alcoholics. I remember there was an elderly chap there. We called him Sonny, but I think his name was James. And he had shell shock from World War II. And he would come in every day. He would sit there and drink tea, smoke his roll-ups, and just play cards all day with whoever would play cards with him. And when he didn't have anyone to play cards with, he'd start screaming and shouting because his mind was instantly taken back to the trenches. So there was always somebody there willing to play cards with him just to keep him quiet, and he would sit there all day. I imagine he is long, long gone. Well, he must be, because he'd been in his 90s now otherwise. And he was living on the street. And there were some, pretty dreadful cases there. I'm going to assume that nearly everybody who came through the doors back then has probably died now. And it's really weird. And so I'm thinking about, can I be more useful? Do I want to do stuff like that? I don't even know if those things still exist like they used to. And then I thought about this YouTube channel, because my initial gut reason for starting it was accountability. So just having like a video diary, somewhere to talk into, somewhere to get the stuff that's in here out into the actual world. Even if no one watches it, at least it's out my head, because stuff goes round and round in your head, you know that. And for most of this year, there was 10 followers, 20. Once we hit 100, I thought, yeah, that's all right. And it sat that for ages. And it wasn't until I started talking about universal credit that the numbers started to climb. And I only post about the stuff that I have experienced. I don't rant about politics or the state of the system, because I don't know it well enough. I only have my own experience. And I thought, well, I live my life the way I live it. And there are skills here that, maybe I should talk about how I do budget cooking, how I save money on groceries using cashback apps, how I find accessible work in the form of surveys and things like that, because there will be people out there looking for this sort of advice. And it's kind of grown from there. And reading the comments that I get back from you all about how you've picked up good advice, or just how you feel like you're in the same boat. Like loads of you are in the same boat together. We're all in the same boat. We're all in the same cost of living crisis. There aren't many people who are not worried about their energy bills. There aren't many people who are happy to throw whatever money they need to into the pot for food. We're all watching our budgets and trying to understand what the hell is going on at the moment. And then I realised, as the numbers have continued to grow, that actually maybe I'm saying something useful, because otherwise why would you be watching? Why would you be commenting? I must be doing something. Anyway, so that's what's been going around my head for the last hour or so since I came to bed and can't sleep. So I'm hoping that now I have said it into the world, or it will be once I've posted it, that I can now go to sleep. Yeah. It's blowing a hoolie out there tonight. I didn't know we were expecting any storms, but it is really wet and windy. It's howling around the building here, which probably isn't helping. So anyway, yes, I look a mess because I've been lying in bed for ages, not able to sleep. Who cares? We all have bad hair days. Anyway, so I hope you're all hanging in there. Man, if you could actually help people, you know, there's a huge list of people on YouTube who I'd be helping right now. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to say that, and that maybe this is the good thing I'm doing. Just talking. And I'm always looking for channels that are relatable. I'm always following new channels that I think that's a real person just videoing their day-to-day life and trying to make sense of the world. And isn't that what it's about? And as we all gravitate towards another new year, which sounds so cheesy when I say it like that, oh dear, sorry. I'm wondering where the dickens 2024 is going to get us. I would imagine the cost of living is going to be with us for most of next year. The way the cycle of economic things changes suggests that we have a way to go. You know, once the new year starts, it doesn't mean things are going to be any different. It's just slightly depressing. It's like you wonder what you're celebrating. Anyway, that's it. And my first ever vlog from bed, I think. I have a lot of catching up to do. Good night. Another Sunday lunchtime. Another clean done. 2 cleans actually. And another cheeky Morrisons haul. Quite a good one today. This lot came to £3.92. So, more mushrooms. Mushrooms really are the thing at the moment. The bigger packs. £1.19 down to 30p. 2 of those. Courgettes. Don't get these very often anymore, but when they do come through. So these were £1.39, now 42p. You get 3 in a pack, so I got 2 of those as well. Might have to do a cheeky courgette cake next week. Trimmed onions. I like these because if you stick them in water, the roots will grow and they'll keep growing. These will last like upwards of a month if you put them in water and keep the water fresh. These were 89p each. down to 27p, so I've got 2 of those. That's going to last me right through till Christmas. And then what you can do, if there's anything left, is chop them up and stick them in a bag and put them in the freezer. I also, I'm not sure I should have bought this, a Tex-Mex dip. It's just a saver version, but you get all the bits in it. That is 54p, it was £1.79. Don't usually get things like this, so that's a little treat. Chicken goujons, which I've had before. These are great because you can put them straight in the freezer. £1.99 each, now down to 50p, so they're going to go straight in the freezer for a rainy day, and you can just have 1 or 2 per meal. And then the last thing is garlic and coriander pitters. These were 75p down to 45. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a pack. I've got 2, again, straight into the freezer. So if I have a day where I'm not sure what I want to do for dinner, I can warm up a pitta and stuff that full of stir fry. And that is a dinner for me. So yeah, all of that for £3.92, which isn't bad. It's now lunchtime and I'm hungry, so I am going to do lunch. And that is my Sunday Morrisons haul. Sunday, just after lunch, and as you can probably tell, I'm out now. Windy. Can you hear me? I hope so. Normally on Sundays, after I've done my clean and I've been to Morrisons, as I have done, as you've seen, I would not normally go out again. But a few things have appeared on the Green Genie cashback app for free at Sainsburys today, and I was also having a look at the Smart Save, and I think there are good discounts on 2 things that I really want. One is for me, it's a want not a need, but it's become a little tiny luxury of mine. The other is, I think, the last Christmas present I need to buy, and it has a discount. So I still feel weird talking into my phone when I'm out, even though people will just think I'm FaceTiming. Anyway, so I've decided to walk down to Sainsburys. It's only about 15 minutes or thereabouts. First thing this morning, it was absolutely tipping it down, and I thought I was going to end up driving because I don't want to get wet. But it's now, I think we're getting on for 2 o'clock, so I have a 2-hour window to get to Sainsbury's before they shut at 4 because it's Sunday opening, and apparently it's not going to rain again now until 6. So I've packed a little umbrella just in case. Last night's insane wind, which took one of my bins over, has pretty much gone today. It was so noisy last night. It whistles around the building, and because I'm on a corner I get hit from every direction, and we have lots of like telephone wires attached to the corner, and they go out to the poles and they rattle a lot. And we have a little vent where the boiler goes outside, and it has little plastic slats on it so that it opens by itself, and they rattle like you would not believe in the wind. I've got used to it. They're noises that I don't even notice anymore, but if you weren't used to them, or you were highly irritated by things like that, that would drive you nuts. But it's just one of the noises that the house makes, and I don't think about it. It's really quiet out this afternoon, it's lovely. I'm getting my steps in. So I did that recording I did last night in bed because I just couldn't sleep. So I think I put the phone down at about 12:30, laid there again for a bit. Then I fell asleep. Woke up a couple of times to go to the loo, as is standard for me. And then I woke up at 5:15 and was awake for probably another hour. My neighbour got up, don't know where they were going at 5:30 on a Sunday morning, but they got up and I could hear them moving around and that woke me up. And I think I probably drifted off to sleep again just before 7. And I'd set my alarm for 8:15 this morning. So I'm definitely short of sleep, which I'm hoping will mean I will go to sleep tonight. What's happened is that because I am not going to sleep until later, I'm waking up later, and then that has a knock-on effect for the next day. Right, I'm going to stop talking for a bit because I'm going to be on the main road and it's going to be impossible. Catch up in a bit. Just leaving Sainsburys. That was an absolute nightmare. None of the things I wanted were there. And the gift that I thought I was going to get, I suddenly realised I was looking at the wrong product, and the one that I did want was way out of my price range. So sorry Mum, you're not getting that as a present. I can't justify 24 quid for a bottle of wine. That's the standard my parents roll at. Anyway, so none of the things that were with Green Genie were on the shelves, which happens quite a lot. And I was hoping I was going to hit my last bonus for extra nectar points with Sainsburys, but because I couldn't get any of the things I wanted, I didn't. So in the end I bought the 2 other things that I wanted, paid on nectar, and then I only had to pay a small amount on top. So and it was a treat thing. So last year, it wasn't last year, it was in March, my best friend bought me like a simple, you know, like the skincare people bought me like a gift set, and one of the things in there was a light moisturiser, and I didn't use it for ages, didn't think anything of it, and then I started to use it and it's actually really good. I mean, I just normally just slap a bit of whatever moisturiser I have every morning and get on with it, but certainly in winter your skin gets really dry, and I've noticed that this one is really good, and it's not insanely expensive. It's £3.50 for a bottle that will probably last me a year. But the discount I thought I saw was on online shopping with Sainsburys, not the Smart Save. So I thought it was going to go down to like £1.55. And it wasn't, it's still £3.50. But I also picked up a bag of oats. And once I'd paid for a chunk of it on Nectar points, it's only come to £1.90. So I ended up getting a good discount on that anyway. Today really wasn't worth the effort. I should have stayed at home. Anyway, never mind. Got me out doing a bit more exercise. And by the time I get home, I'll be nice and warmed up as well. And then I haven't got long to go till 5 o'clock and the heating will be on. And it's quite interesting actually when I think about the extra effort that I put into to get stuff free or cheap. You know, how I will go to a supermarket that's not, it's not out of my way, but it's not as convenient as what most people are used to now. And we're putting quite a lot of effort to get freebies and cheap stuff. And I did my food audit, sorted out where I'd gone wrong on my spreadsheets, and I'd only made a few mistakes, so I'm all up to date now. So I am going to do perhaps a separate post about how much I spent on food this year, how much I saved by only buying yellow sticker food, how much I've saved on cashback apps, and how much I've saved by using gift cards from surveys, and using loyalty points. Because I really think that the problem is we've got so used to convenience that we're willing to pay twice the price for everything now, so that we don't have to get up off our backsides and do a bit more work to get things cheap. And I think it's worth the effort. When you see how much I physically spend on food now, you might think that maybe it's worth the effort. And it also helps that I'm a household of one who isn't a picky eater. Literally, I'm grateful for anything I can get. And I scratch cook, so I'm grateful for anything I can get, and whatever I can get I can turn into an interesting meal. So I've got everything on my side, really, in that respect. So yeah, I will do a separate post, because since I started doing these food audits, my subscriber list has gone up. So I don't think people have really seen it before. Unless they go digging around looking for posts. I know that some people have, but a lot of people just look at the post that's immediately in front of them. So what I'd like to do is do an end of year food audit, so that people who are new, and now that I'm getting found more on YouTube, the right people will find what I do, and hopefully it will help them. So that's that. Constructive thoughts. I'm going to be home soon, so I'm going to end it there, because you've listened to me rabbit on long enough. And yeah, we've got blue sky now. Blue sky and sun. Till the rain descends again later. And it's not cold. It's so nice not being cold again. My heating has been switching itself off because it's been hitting that 15-degree limit. And it's been so nice at home. 15 degrees feels so good when you're used to, 9, 10, 11, 12 degrees during the day. When that comes on in the evening, it makes such a big difference, and it warms you up really well. So yeah, another weekend over. Never ending list of things to talk about. Just talk too much, I guess. Anyway, I've got to go now because it's windy. Bye bye.